Doug Kroll, a researcher, found an English translation of a ship's log from an unknown French sailing vessel in the archives of Nova Scotia in the year 2017. The log identified a prospective suspect who was responsible for one of the treasure dumps, and that suspect was a French admiral from the 18th century who was known as the Duc de Fives. The record details the discovery of a deep bay to the southwest of Shuo Bay, which is today known as Halifax Harbor. The bay is surrounded by several hundred small islands that are wooded to the shore. Due to the large quantity of treasure that is on this vessel, it would be imprudent to put it in danger in any potential engagement. On September 8th, it was decided that a deep pit bidou and treasure would be securely buried in the pit. On September 13th, a 67-ton pit appeared damp from the southeast of the seawater, so they decided to go deeper to dry soil. Later, on September 10th, the expedition led by Duc de Fives arrived in Nova Scotia with the intention of retaking the fortress of Louisbourg. With the exception of one ship that was not identified and was carrying a sum of treasure that was possibly buried on Oak Island, the majority of the surviving fleet was given the order to return to France. Some believe that the answer lies in a connection between the Ras Khan family and the medieval order of the Knights Templar. The Knights Templar were a venerable family with roots going back to the dawn of French history. Duke d'Anville's own family had connections to the Knights Templars, who were known about their connection to Oak Island for over 100 years. Some suggest that the Knights Templar may have played a key role in the Oak Island mystery, as the medieval Christian order is best known for leading the Crusades into the Holy Land, where they are believed to have recovered large amounts of treasure and sacred religious artifacts. Researchers have identified sophisticated structures on Oak Island that may have been built by the Knights Templar, such as tunnels, underground spaces, and waterworks. These structures would have required skilled engineers, as the Knights Templar were efficient and skilled engineers. The Knights Templar, a group of European knights, were responsible for the construction and burial of vast treasure on Oak Island. During the Middle Ages, this led to the theory that the Duc d'Anville and his French fleet undertook a similar expedition centuries later in September 1746. 3 intriguing documents were presented to Rick and Marty Lagena and their team in 2016 by Zena Halper, who believed they had been created by the Knights Templar. One was an encoded cipher with symbols found. Among the other items was a map of Oak Island that was dated to 1347 and a map of Nova Scotia that was dated to the 12th century. A key detail that stood out to the Lanus and their team was a reference to the RW versus the family of the Duc d'Eve on the Oak Island map. The map was a gift to Francis de Rale, and they started looking into the possibility that the Rale family may have been involved in the earlier Templar voyage to the New World in 2022. In order to study the map, Marty Lagena, his son Alex, and Charles Barkhouse, an Oak Island historian, headed to Royston Cave in England. While there, they discovered bricks etched in the year 1347. These bricks could have been a spot that the Knights Templar used to store riches before surreptitiously moving them to Oak Island. The Ras versus the family crest, a symbol of the Rosefolt family, is also present on the map. The larger scope of the mystery is that Duc d'Anville, a Ras cult, was mentioned on Zena's map. It is possible that there was some activity conducted on the island associated with the Duc d'Anville expedition. If the ship's logs are authentic, it is possible that they made a deposition and dug a pit to deposit treasure on Oak Island for 228 years. The story of the Knights Templar's activities on Oak Island has survived, but the answers we don't have yet are still being sought. There are the rumors, hypotheses, and various theories surrounding the discovery of a treasure in Oak Island. It is believed that the Aztec Empire discovered pager clay worth more than gold in the sediment of the Mesoamericans around 800, and the shore shaft was the first shaft put down to establish a mine, and the Aztecs knew they could mine there. It suggests that the Aztec treasure is not located here, but rather a couple hundred yards away. The story begins with McGinnis and his friends digging at the Money Pit, where they discovered a platform of flat stone stones related to the Royal Arch of Enoch. This platform is believed to be a copy of Solomon's Temple and the Chambers of Enoch. Some Masonic legends indicate that the Ark of the Covenant eventually made its way into the temple. Additionally, the Rosal family's connections to the Duc d'Anville, as well as the possibility of construction or a visit to the Money Pit, are discussed. Because of his friendship with Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson, Louis Alexander Rick Holdson of the Duc d'Anville is an intriguing character. There is a possibility that Louis Alexander Rowe, in his friendship with Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson, may have told them about Oak Island or any secrets that were hidden there. If they had known about Oak Island, they might have been able to use a portion of the treasure from Oak Island as a means of financing the war and helping to establish the new country. Xena is assisting a woman in New York who has been conducting study on the Templars for the past 7 or 8 years. She possesses a number of documents that are of interest, including a map of Oak Island and a map of Nova Scotia. A strong emphasis is placed throughout the work on the significance of making connections and gaining an understanding of the possible connection between the Aztec Revolution and the American Revolution. There was a finding of a cipher in a manuscript that was dated between 1178 and 1180. The document discusses the temple voyage to the northern portion of America and the arrival of the temples on an island called Oak. The cipher appears to employ the same symbols as the 90-foot stone cipher, which was concealed in a book. Some of the words that are included in the cipher are gray, as the text indicates. Joab was a general in King David's army who spent time in northern Africa. Ur Goldcephala was the location of the first Portuguese fort and factory, which was built on the east coast of Africa in the year 1505. In addition to the fact that the map of Oak Island contains French phrases that designate locations like basin and marsh, it also shows that someone arrived on the island in the year 1347. The map also shows the swamp on the NL, which is located inside the island. The dam and the oak tree enter the island at this point, which is a pointer to the money pit. It is mentioned that there are 2 or 3 unknown things. A valve and a hatch are anchors. There is no expectation that Xena's research would result in answers. However, her notion is entirely original and is supported by documentation. Travis Taylor is present to discuss the findings of the cipher and the analysis of the chart. He explains that uranium was discovered close to the island, and when it decays, it produces radon, which is a valuable metal. The text concludes by expressing gratitude for the assistance of Travis T. and the support of the research team. The concept is that if there is a void under the surface, for a period of time, uranium will cause it to fill with radon gas, particularly if there is no ventilation in it. Radon is soluble in most materials, and it is a valuable metal. The presentation by Travis Tyler offered a fresh viewpoint on the process of locating cavities using radon testing. Travis started reading more about Oak Island and came up with his own theory as to what may have happened. He found that almost everyone involved in investigating the island was Freemasons. One of the first things that jumped out at him was Hammurabi's Freemason drawing template, which had meanings based on astronomy. The hand of God holding a chalice, or the Holy Grail, was used as a symbol of as above. So below, the Freemasons would draw maps using stars as their guide, and the star on the upper right was actually 7 stars, which resembled the Pides. He started thinking that archaeoastronomy might have something to do with the island. He overlaid the constellation on the island, creating a star map that led them to the point on Oak Island where the actual treasure is. They came to the conclusion that the stones they saw were markers that were placed there by humans a long time ago to correspond with a star map. In order to further investigate the possibility of finding cavities through radon testing, Travis and Gary will need to obtain corroborative information first. Based on their findings, they will then draw conclusions. Travis and Gary made the decision to show Travis around the island, and they discovered several interesting points on the island. One of the points had a large boulder near the lot line between 3 and 2, and another point had a stone feature with a flat side.
Indicate the presence of concealed chambers or tunnels. The ground-penetrating radar surveys uncovered a remarkable discovery, a network of interconnected tunnels beneath the swamp. The crew realized that these tunnels may hold the key to unlocking Oak Island's final secrets. The crew was filled with anticipation as they prepared to investigate these underground passages, knowing that they were on the verge of a significant discovery. With their specialized equipment and protective clothing, the team entered the recently unearthed tunnels with courage. The ambiance inside was damp and unsettling, which amplified their feelings of excitement and danger. As they progressed deeper into the complex labyrinth, they discovered shards of tools, signs of human habitation, and cryptic symbols etched into the tunnel walls. Each step brought them closer to the long-awaited revelation. After years of arduous searching, the team uncovered a secret chamber concealed deep within the tunnels. As they cautiously opened the chamber door, They were dumbfounded by what they saw. They stood there in awe as they encountered the ultimate prize they had tirelessly sought. The treasure that had evaded them for what seemed like an eternity suddenly materialized before their eyes. It was an awe-inspiring sight. A collection of dazzling jewels, each glistening in its own brilliant hue. Alongside them were antiquities that told tales of long-vanished civilizations. The containers were brimming with unfathomable riches, including gold and silver that glistened with unrivaled opulence. After years of effort, the Oak Island curse was ultimately resolved. Their perseverance and diligence paid off as they uncovered secrets that had been concealed for centuries. In that moment of victory, they felt a mixture of elation and relief, knowing that their unyielding pursuit had led to the discovery of a lifetime. Click the subscribe button if the video has piqued your interest thus far. The discovery of the treasure on Oak Island was not only a triumph for the Lagena brothers and their team, but also a demonstration of human tenacity and the enduring appeal of adventure. The treasure would provide invaluable historical insights, inspire new discoveries, and captivate the world with tales of intrigue and mystery. If you want to see more hidden treasures, view the video. Scientists announce something terrifying is happening at Oak Island. On Lot 8, in a recent episode of The Curse on Oak Island, researchers have finally uncovered substantial proof of a metallic anomaly. Marty, Gary, and the other members of the team investigate Lot 8 after finding a large metallic oddity there. They come uncover a number of unique relics, including a garnet brooch and a piece from a bride's horse, which prompts questions about their origins and any connections. Moreover, they discover a piece of beveled iron, which agrees nicely with the results of the most recent magnetometry investigation. This implies that the object was formerly a broken antique cutting tool. This finding suggests that human activity may have existed in a location that was previously believed to be devoid of people. Founding. The flag was flown from George Washington's own ships. The picture showed a pine tree with 13 different branches. A carving of a tree with 13 branches has been carved into a rock on Oak Island's northern side. Additionally, the number 13 is believed to have some form of significance, and the Knights Templar, an organization that is already closely associated with many of the artifacts found on Oak Island, are said to be connected in some way. Gary Drayton and his metal detecting team once more find evidence of activity on the island in the 17th century in Dead Man's Chest, the second episode of the 5th season of The Curse of Oak Island. This time, the activity may have been from the military, potentially from pirates, or even from both. The crew finds a 17th century musket ball that was used in weapons before discovering what they think is a Maravedi, which is similar to the object found in The Find, the Season 1 finale. The difference is that this currency has been divided up into smaller, easier-to-handle pieces. Coins like the Maravedi were often cut in the 17th century to create change. This practice gave origin to the phrase pieces of 8, which was later made well known by the classic pirate novel Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. Another puzzle piece that supports the idea that pirates visited the Oak Island coasts. Is it feasible that additional research on piracy has to be done? The Lagena brothers and Gary Drayton continue their search for hidden money in The Curse of Oak Island, Season 5, Episode 3, Obstruction, by looking into the Dunfield spoils. Robert Dunfield dug a hole that was 100 feet wide and 140 feet deep in 1965 in an attempt to find the rumored treasure that was supposed to be hidden on Oak Island. Ultimately, the large hole was filled in on its own, and the search for the treasures proved to be futile. The soil that was taken out during excavation, however, was not put to another use and ended up being called the Dunfield spoils. With the use of a metal detector, the Oak Island crew swiftly located a pair of English coins bearing the likeness of King Charles II on one side and the dates 1673 and 1694 on the other. These two coins' discovery on Oak Island in the 1700s suggests that either English military soldiers or pirates frequented the area. For more recent stuff, don't forget to subscribe and enable post notifications. In an effort to unravel hints about Oak Island's past and refute myths, they visit various parts of the island and speak with locals. The team also discovers gold close to the money pit, indicating that there might be further treasures there that have yet to be discovered. Even though they've encountered some difficulties, the crew continues to move and conduct their inquiry. Season 9 disproved Fred Nolan's claims of an ancient Portuguese presence while supporting Zena Halpern's Templar map. This discovery has restored their trust in their mission. Additionally, the group learns the top 10 Portuguese connections. The Lagina brothers are looking into the disappearance of the riches from Oak Island. The Portuguese Order of Christ, the Knights Baronet, and Prince Henry Sinclair are all seen to be potential contenders for hiding the treasure from Oak Island. The team encountered numerous rumors and plots along the road, which frequently cast a shadow over the wealth itself. Nevertheless, it appears that this season might be the one in which they ultimately succeed. Even though the current season is coming to a close, The Curse of Oak Island. Drilling Down is scheduled to air the next week. In Traverse City, Michigan, Maddie intends to meet with Rick, Marty, Craig, Alex, and Jack, according to the summary. They will review the amazing results of Season 10 and get a sneak preview of what is ahead in 2011. The origins of this mysterious energy are still a topic of discussion among NASA experts.
Those looking for riches have long been fascinated by the enigmatic tunnel that Rick Lagena and his team found on Oak Island. Dr. Spooner's discovery of a 3,000-year-old item increases the island's allure by raising the possibility that there may be real wealth beneath us. They intend to discover the ultimate treasure beneath this enchanted island this year. The excitement of discovering something hidden implies that they are now closer than ever to the treasure, and the connections between these discoveries point to a secret story that is just waiting to be revealed. The solution could be concealed in the money pit or in a secret room beyond the walls that is filled with intricate traps and coded messages. The entire island might be a map containing unsolved clues, like old stone engravings, links between tiny structures, or rare plants and animals. Although Oak Island may contain relics from a long-gone civilization, the true value lies not in material wealth, but rather in the wisdom gained during the search. Rick and Marty Lagena provide a strong emphasis on project sustainability and safety. They choose safer recovery methods in Lot 13 and discover a familiar substance called blue clay that makes unexpected connections and may be related to the island's hidden details. In contrast to the typical natural geological processes, renowned geologist Dr. Ian Spooner analyzes the quadrilateral and discovers a large layer of clay underlying the rocks. This data calls into question the natural formation theory that backs up the notion of human intervention. The intricate tale of Oak Island centers on the stacked rocks in the quadrilateral formation, which Dr. Spooner found to be more difficult to remove than rocks from a pit. This finding lends credence to the idea that these constructions were purposefully constructed with particular objectives in mind, such as the use of heat-treated clay. The money pit in this unusual building may have been created by the same talented hands, as evidenced by the blue clay found in the delicate features of the quadrilaterals. There has been interest in a possible link between the two locations since the discovery of blue clay at the center of the money pit in 1804. An ancient stone well in Lot 26 that is thought to be among the island's oldest man-made structures has been investigated. Recent tests on the well water have shown high levels of silver, making the well's depths an intriguing artifact. The intricate construction and potential connections to the money pit make it an intriguing piece of the island's history. In Lot 26, a nail that was probably from the 18th century was discovered. The well's function and relationship to the money pit are still unknown, but a study by chemist Dr. Christina Bruno offers a clearer picture. Another mystery is revealed in the triangular swamp, where Alex Lena and his group are looking for clues about the mysterious stone range. Rick Lagena and his group set out on a side trip to Camerado, Italy, to investigate the Knights Templar, who are said to guard numerous priceless religious artifacts. In the volcanic Bani Cave, they find a stone cross with a similar shape and slight SE variations that may serve as a connection between the Templars and Oak Island. The enigmatic Caribbean island of Oak Island has been the focus of constant research and study. The finding of Roman currency. Roman engravings and other relics imply that the island may have had anything to do with the lost treasures of the Knights Templar. These findings have sparked conjecture regarding early transatlantic voyages prior to Christopher Columbus. The history of the island is more the existence of Roman coins on the island, which may have been dropped by ships passing by the money pit. A sizable hole made to hold these coins has complicated matters. In the first season, the Lagena brothers found Nolan's cross, a stone cross pattern resembling the Templar symbols found in TMs. Other finds include Spanish coins from the 17th century and a phony Roman sword. The second season unveiled the Bobby Dazzler, a beautifully carved stone with sparkling eyes and a smiling face that alluded to connections with hidden wisdom and old orders. Our perception of history and culture was altered by discoveries made in the second season. The sacrifice goat skull, unearthed in a deep ditch beneath a collapsed tunnel, spurred conversations about ancient ceremonies and magical symbolism, while the McKim stone located close to the money pit generated questions about encounters prior to Columbus and the transfer of ancient knowledge. Since Oak Island's history is connected to far-off locations, the hunt for answers is made even more fascinating by the ongoing discoveries and theories surrounding the island's hidden treasures. After studying mechanical engineering and working as a postal worker, Rick Lagena, who was born in Kingsford, Michigan in 1952, became well known for his treasure hunts and his love of discovering hidden treasures and solving codes. As Rick's passion for Oak Island increased, he decided to invest in Oak Island Tours Inc. in 2006, which signaled a change from a steady career to one that was more daring. Go after an ambitious quest to uncover long-standing unresolved tales began when Rick and his brother Marty, who had achieved success in the energy sector, decided to invest in Oak Island Tours Inc. and acquire significant exploration rights to the island. They used their engineering expertise to design and conduct sophisticated searches on the island, incorporating modern technology like ground-penetrating radar and sonar to navigate the underground challenges. One of the most talked about treasure hunts in recent memory was the Oak Island Treasure Hunt, which was organized by Rick and Marty. The brothers made a financial investment in Oak Island Tours Inc., acquiring a 50% part in the business, signifying their personal dedication to their mutual love of learning about the past. The curse of Oak Island's financial foundation depends on a number of revenue sources, including the History Channel's well-liked series, which generates revenue for the network with each season it broadcasts, covers production costs, and broadens its audience by selling the show's broadcasting rights to other networks and platforms. The popular television program, The Curse of Oak Island, centers on the hunt for hidden treasures on an island. A significant portion of the show's budget goes toward purchasing and maintaining cutting-edge machinery and technology that need to be handled and maintained by professionals. The program uses a wide range of experts, such as production staff, biologists, conservation specialists, treasure hunters, and historians. A sizable amount of the money goes toward paying these experts' salaries and fees. Post-production expenses include sound design, special effects, editing, and incorporating historical documents and expert interviews to enhance the narrative. Rick Lagena, the protagonist of the show, is worth about $10 million, which is less than his brother Marty Lagena's $100 million estimated net worth. Marty's fortune stems from profitable energy-related ventures, like Terra Energy, which in the 1990s invented the process of extracting natural gas from shale. Rick decided to pursue a career in book publishing and related products because of his love of historical exploration and adventure. The thrilling idea of unearthing ancient treasures has attracted people all across the world. The program, which is based on old legends, incorporates historical narratives into every episode, enhancing the treasure search while providing a good dose of knowledge on many historical subjects. Through online platforms and forums, the show encourages an adventurous spirit and the conviction that one should always pursue their aspirations despite any obstacles. Every new episode generates a lot of buzz and lively conversations and arguments over the effects of the Oak Island Curse. The popular television program, The Curse of Oak Island, has turned the Nova Scotia region into a popular tourist destination that draws tourists from all over the world. The show has also enhanced historical research on Oak Island with in-depth excavations and explorations that have produced a wealth of artifact and environmental data findings. These findings are frequently shared with archaeologists and historical experts, resulting in collaborative projects that aid in reconstructing Oak Island's past and its historical context. Additionally, the program has sparked scholarly interest in the island's legends and maritime treasure tales. The team behind the show is collaborating with academic institutions and researchers to investigate historical leads and theories. Despite the difficulties, the crew of treasure hunters has had some success discovering items that provide insight into the island's history and persons who may have visited it years ago. One of Hunter's setbacks has been the island's flood tunnels, equipment failures, and inclement weather. Despite these difficulties, Fans have also been alarmed by health scares and disturbing rumors. The chance to unearth a lost fragment of history justifies the material and emotional expenses. Local companies like hospitality, retail, and other industries that profit from the flood of guests and crew members now have a lot of job prospects thanks to the event.
Rick Lagena's treasure hunting endeavors have contributed to his wealth from Oak Island.